Sure, it is started. So today's lecture number 6, and we'll be talking about state of thermodynamic system. State of thermodynamic system, you people understood. Any system means we consider that portion from the universe. Already we discussed that. Which portion we consider? That means it has a specific boundary. In that boundary, inside that boundary, that is called system, and we call it as thermodynamic system. Okay. And apart from system, everything is surrounding. And if you add system plus surrounding, it will become universe. Okay, we already discussed that. So, state of thermodynamic system. For example, as I told, we are also thermodynamic system. If you remember, right? You are also thermodynamic system, right? Because mass is moving out, right? Heat is moving inside you, and heat is going out, right? There is a flow. There is a interchange of mass. There is a interchange of heat, right? So we are also a thermodynamic system. Okay, and we are also doing mechanical work. If you remember the first lecture, thermodynamics is thermo means heat and dynamics is the motion. Heat is in motion, right? Heat is moving, either releasing or getting inside. Okay, or it is a relationship between heat and mechanical work, right? If you want to do mechanical work, you have to provide heat. So this is a relationship between heat and mechanical work. So anyways, suppose you are a thermodynamic system right now, and I want to justify state of you right now, because you are a thermodynamic system, right? So that means whether you are healthy, whether you are having a high fever, then what can I do? I just need to measure some parameters of you. Okay, like I need to use the thermometer to measure the temperature. If temperature is fine, then you are healthy, right? But if temperature is high enough, like around 90, for example, or nearly 100. Okay, 90 is fine, but nearly 100, right? Then that means you have fever, right? So by using temperature parameter or temperature as a variable, I can tell you the condition of you right now, condition of that particular thermodynamic system, right? Okay, you understand my point? Similarly, suppose I can measure the blood pressure also. If you remember, pressure is also a very important thermodynamic parameter. So I can measure the blood pressure, because whenever you visit a doctor, they will do this thing. Maybe they will measure your temperature and the pressure mostly. By looking at the pressure of your body or the blood flow, they can tell you whether you are healthy or whether you are having some problems, some fever or whatever. Okay. So that means state of thermodynamic system is nothing but condition of that thermodynamic system at that moment. Okay. Suppose I am considering a solid ingot of a pig iron, for example. I take a pig iron, which is a solid ingot. It is a solid. So to define the state of that solid ingot, which is now the thermodynamic system, right? What I can do? I can measure the mass, right? I can measure the volume. I can measure the temperature. I can measure the pressure, right? And I can also measure the heat content, H, or I can measure the free energy, G. So all these parameters, temperature, pressure, I can also measure the composition of that pig iron, concentration of carbon, whatever. Okay. So all these parameters measurement will justify at what state that thermodynamic system is in right now. Do you understand? Okay. If the temperature is 25 degrees centigrade, and you know the melting point of pig iron. For example, melting point of pig iron is around, suppose it is variable because lot of impurities are there, maybe around 1450, let it be, just imagine. So you know the temperature of pig iron is just only 25 degrees, that means it is solid. Okay, pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, so it is again solid, nothing will be there. Okay, so it simply means you can understand the condition at that moment by measuring these variables. So in simple word, I can say what are those variables mostly? One variable you can say temperature, one variable will be your pressure, one variable will be volume, right? And concentration also you can say. Okay. Similarly, take a 1 ton of molten pig iron in a mold, for example, or in a ladle, a container. Right? Again, you need to measure the temperature so that you can say what is the temperature of that, what is the pressure of that, right? And what is the how much volume it is occupying. Because if you can measure those parameters also, you can measure other quantities also. Suppose you want to measure the density. You cannot measure density directly. No? You need to know the volume first, measure the volume of that molten metal, and you need to measure the mass. Then only you can find out other quantities also, useful quantities. You want to find out viscosity again. So you need to know the mass, you need to know the volume, pressure, lot of parameters you need to measure so that you can find out the viscosity. Okay. So this you understood now, no? What is mean by state of the thermodynamic? That means state of thermodynamic system is at that moment only. If that means thermodynamic system can move from one state to another state. For example, it is moving from solid to liquid now. So all these parameters will change. Pressure will maybe pressure will remain same if it is done in 1 atmospheric pressure in normal environment, but the temperature will change from 25 degrees centigrade to somewhere 1450. Volume may change because volume of liquid is less always compared to solid. You know this, no? If you measure density again, density will be higher in case of what? Which have high density? Liquid or solid?
Liquid.
Solid is high density.
Liquid.
Volume is decreasing, na? When you convert a solid into liquid, the volume goes down always. Because in the if you put lot of solids, there will be some empty space will be there. But if you make it liquid, empty space will be gone. Na? It will be then the level will go down. You understand my point? You take lot of solids, so there will be empty space between solids, right? Interstitial points you can say, voids. But if you make it liquid completely, all the voids will be filled up. So density will increase, of course. Basically. But exception is ice, forget about it. That is one of the exceptions. So that means a thermodynamic system can move from one state to another state. How you can do that? By measuring the variables, so measuring the quantities like pressure, temperature, composition, volume, okay, or free energy, enthalpy, total heat content if you remember, total heat content. Because when it is solid, total heat content will be less. But the moment you make it liquid, total heat content will increase, of course. You have put lot of heat. Is it fine or any confusion? Okay? Equation of state, already you know this from physics. Already we have solved a lot of numericals. So PV is equal to RT basically. If it is one mole of gas, we consider it is PV is equal to RT. P is equal to pressure, V is equal to volume, is equal to R means gas constant, P is equal to RT, RT is equal to temperature in Kelvin scale mostly. Basically, we will come across this PV is equal to RT while solving some numericals. Okay, later. Actually, what happens basically when we are producing iron or when we are producing any metal, sometimes lot of waste gas will also come out, like CO2. If you remember, no? CO2, CO, nitrogen will be also there. Because nitrogen is the major part of your air, right? How much? 79% nearly. Okay, volume. So that means when you are purging air into the blast furnace, for example, most of the air contains nitrogen. So nitrogen will come out, it will not react. Right? But the oxygen will react to form carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So whatever gas is coming out, and you know this PV is equal to RT, you can use that equation to find out what is the pressure of that, what is the volume of that, or what is the change in pressure, or what is the change in volume. Okay, or what is the temperature of that. Okay, anyway, you understand my point? We will not go into that. Now this is important. Thermodynamic variable, state variable, or property. So what is thermodynamic variable or state variable? It measurable quantity used to specify the state of thermodynamic system. Okay. So what are those? One is temperature, pressure, it can be volume, and it can be free energy, it can be enthalpy. Okay. It can be also work done, it can be also heat. Okay, this is heat, this is work done. But if you can write change, so you can write delta W, okay, for example. But in small scale, we write dW. Okay, anyway, dQ, change in temperature is delta T, change in pressure delta P, change in volume delta V, change in free energy delta G, change in enthalpy delta H. This is enthalpy, this is free energy, this is volume, pressure, temperature. So these are all measurable quantity used to specify the state of thermodynamic system. If somebody will ask, can you tell me the state of any thermodynamic system? Then what you can say? Then we need to measure the quantity, these quantities. We need to check the temperature, we need to check the pressure, we need to check the free energy, we need to check the enthalpy. We need to check all these things. Then we can justify, yeah, this is the condition or this is the state of that thermodynamic system right now. Okay? Is it okay or? Okay, do you have any idea that if you look at our Earth, how many layers of Earth? That means Earth is made up of how many layers? Do you know? 5 layers. What are those 5 layers? Sorry, you are saying something. No, I am talking about only Earth, solid. I am not talking about the atmosphere. I am talking only Earth.
Three.
Crust,
Three.
mantle,
Core.
Yeah, very good. No, very good. So Earth is made up of three layers. No? Top layer of the Earth is Earth crust, which actually will dig to take out the minerals, take out the ore basically. Ore and minerals, because they are source of your metals finally. So we dig out the crust. But below the crust, mantle will come. Mantle is very hard, mostly rocky. Then when we go inside, core will come. So core actually is made up of two things, you know, the outer core and inner core. Do you know that what is the condition of that inner core and outer core? What is the state? In which state it is in?
Liquid.
Liquid. Which one? Which one is liquid? Both are liquid. Inner core is liquid. Outer core is solid. Do you know what happens when we dig the earth and we want to go inside the earth to the center? What happened to the thermodynamic parameters or variables? What happened to the pressure? What happened to temperature? Pressure increases, very good. Pressure will increase or decrease? Increase. And what happened to the temperature?
It will also increase.
Right. So these are two things playing the role. So that two things, temperature and pressure, will decide in what state your thermodynamic condition will be, or in what state your material will be. Mostly core is made up of nickel and iron. That's why Earth is a magnet, we call it, right? You know Earth is a magnet. Earth has its own magnetic field. That's why it is protecting from the what are the flares, sun flares. Sun is emitting lot of ions of flares. That's a solar flare actually. Lot of ions are moving towards us. Very dangerous those are. But because of Earth magnetic field, they are getting diverted. Anyway, so the core is made of these metals basically, nickel, iron. And nickel and iron are highly ferromagnetic, you know. Highly ferromagnetic, they will attract to the magnet easily. Strong magnetic behavior has nickel and iron. But you were saying the inner core is liquid and outer core is solid. Is it correct? Just imagine. There is some hint I have given you. Temperature and pressure is playing the role. When you go inside, temperature is increasing, but pressure is also increasing.
The outer core may be liquid, but the inner core has to be solid.
Yes,
Pressure is very good.
absolutely. See, you might be thinking of that when we go inside the earth to the center, temperature is increasing. So all the solid will be in liquid state because temperature become very high. It will reach to the melting point. But pressure is also playing a role there. See how a liquid becomes solid. If you compress the liquid molecules to such an extent, a time will come when they are very close to one, it will become solid. When you compress a gas, right? For LPG gas, for example, those are liquid. If you move the cylinder, you can feel the liquid is there. But the moment it will come out, it becomes gas when it burns. But how this is possible? They have compressed the gas to make it liquid. So similarly, the pressure is so high at the center of the earth. So the center of the earth, the core, inside core is solid actually because of very high pressure. Temperature is there, but because of so high pressure, it is in solid form. But the outer core, dominating part is the temperature. Pressure is there, but temperature plays the dominating role there. So outer core is liquid. So you have to remember these are very interesting points. Anyways, do you understood? So nickel and iron is a thermodynamic system, for example, or your core is a thermodynamic system, and how you can justify by measuring the temperature and pressure, you can say. Just an example. Is it okay? Anyway, so okay, these are the very measurable quantities that will specify the state of the thermodynamic system, right? But now, from this measurable quantity, some are path functions, some are state function actually. State functions means or you can say state variable. Okay, state function of state variable. State variable means those variables which only depends upon the initial state and final state. Whatever initial state, suppose initial state is room temperature state and final state is somewhat high temperature. So path function, state functions means those variables which only depend upon the initial state and final. It doesn't matter where you are taking the material from initial state to final state through which path, right? So just opposite path function means what then? It depends upon the path, how you are taking the thermodynamic system from one state to another state, in which way. Then you can do it in many paths. Path A, path B, path C, any path you can choose. Let me give an example to justify it. This is a very good example. You might get a question from this. See, what if I have only 1 kg of pure aluminium, right? You remember the melting point of pure aluminium is how much? 660 nearly, 660 degrees centigrade. Okay. And you know aluminum has very low density. It is very lighter, right? So that is the reason why we manufacture lot of automotive components or lot of your aeroplanes and all. We are manufacturing by using aluminum because it's lighter. Density is very less. Okay. Anyways, that is one of the important point about aluminum. So, but initial state is solid, pressure is 1 atm, temperature is room temperature 25 degrees centigrade. Now I am converting this 1 kg of aluminium. That means this is one state of the thermodynamic system. I change the state now. What is the next state? So this is state A and this is state B, for example. I am moved from state A to state B. Obviously this variable will change. Of course, all the variables will change, right? So next, I have converted this solid to liquid, molten aluminium. Temperature is 700 degrees centigrade, pressure is 1 atm. Pressure is not changing because we are doing it normal atmospheric pressure. So pressure will not change, but temperature will change, right? But of course heat will change also. Because you are putting some heat to the solid aluminium, that's why it is becoming liquid. So heat content will change, and the work you are doing may be zero or maybe some high value. I'll show you. I'll give this example as well. So you can see I have two ways. So this is your, okay, you can write A. This is path A and this is path B. Path A and this is path B. So I have, if you remember, we use furnace to rise the temperature always. Furnace is the equipment where we can rise the temperature, right? So one furnace is resistance furnace, electrical resistance, and one furnace is induction furnace. So anybody remember, you might know this already, what is resistance heating and what is induction heating. You have studied in physics, I know. Anybody remember? What is the difference between resistance heating and induction heating? You studied in 12th, I guess, in physics. Electromagnetism, you studied, huh? Yeah, you know, I know, you know it. You are in VSST, I know, you know it. Yeah. Resistance heating means because of electrical resistance. See, when electricity is flowing through the wires, right? It may be copper wire or maybe nichrome wire, whatever wire. So, some resistance to the flow of electron will be there. Because of those resistance to the flow of electricity, some heat will generate always. I square R naught, if you remember. H is equal to I square R. I square means it is I means current. If you provide more current, more heat loss will be there, more heat will generate. R means resistance of the wire. So basically, what kind of wire we can use? Nichrome wire, which has very high resistivity. We can use some canthal, that is molybdenum disilicide, some silicon carbide. Those wires which have very high resistivity, so that lot of heat will generate. Do you understand my point? I square R loss will give you. But another kind of heating, just induction heating. Induction heating means what? Yeah. Sorry. Due to eddy current. Very good. Very good. Very good. So whenever you are flowing any, suppose you have one coil here and you have another coil. This is primary, if you remember, and this is secondary. And you are passing AC current. The moment you are passing AC current in this coil, AC current, what happens exactly? AC current means it changes its path. DC current is direct, straight line, but it changes its path. Okay. So when current changes with time in this coil, so what will happen? Some magnetic field will generate around this coil. Some magnetic field will generate automatically. The moment you pass AC current in this coil, so magnetic flux will come out. This magnetic flux will link with this automatically to this coil. When the magnetic flux will move into this coil, so some current will produce automatically in the secondary coil, and that current is actually eddy current, which try to oppose the flow of your main current. Okay. So that because of that eddy current, lot of heat will generate. That is for induction heating. Okay, you people have induction heaters also maybe in your room. I'm not sure. Maybe you are using it to make Maggi, I guess. Induction kettles, right? Anyways, fine. So see, but there is another point I have added here. We are doing some styling. See. But here there is no styling in the first case. We are doing mechanical styling. Right. In the first case, we are not like this, for example. This is the first. So, coils is there. And this is the second. Induction heating, for example. And you are also doing what? You are doing styling. So, this is suppose a rotating, for example. There is no styling here in the first case. Only resistance heating, this is induction heating plus styling. So that means just imagine in the first case, I am not doing any kind of mechanical work, of course. But in the second case, I am doing mechanical work. So path A, there is no mechanical work, but path B, there is mechanical work. So what happened to the, if you measure the work, W, or change in work, it will be different. Here W is 0 in this case. Here W has some value. Any value, x, y, z, whatever. So that means, what I mean to say is, if you want to measure the work here, right now. So here work is 0, but here work has some value. So that means work is different now. Initial state, final state, what? It is different now. Actually, you can see. It depends on path actually. So if you are going in this path, you have more work. If you are going in this path, you have less work. But initial state is solid, final state is molten aluminium. You are doing same thing. You are doing same thing. Initial state is 25 degrees centigrade, 1 atm. Final state is 700 degrees centigrade, 1 atm. You have changed the state. But W is different now. Okay? So W is what now? W is the path function. Because both paths are different, and somewhere you are doing some work, somewhere you are not doing. Similarly, heat input. Heat input will be also different. Can you tell me where we need to give more heat, where we need to give less heat? Just an approximation. We are not calculating it right now. Can you tell me? Just see, hint is you are doing some mechanical work. Can you tell me where heat input will be required will be more and where heat input required will be less? Q2 minus Q1, final heat minus initial. Yeah. More heat and B less. Oh, absolutely right. Why? Because you are doing mechanical styling. So whatever heat is coming, it is continuously distributed throughout the material quickly. But resistance heating means from the outside heat is coming slowly moving to the center. But due to this rotation, heat is equally distributed everywhere and quickly. So you have to provide less heat in case of path 2 compared to the path 1. Do you understand or shall I tell again? Because of stirring action in the path 2, you have to provide less amount of heat. Because you are doing stirring now. Heat will easily propagate everywhere uniformly. But in case 1, heat transfer will be very slow. It will come to the surface, slowly to the center. It takes more time. So more heat will be required. And during that time also some heat may get dissipated into the atmosphere. So path A required more heat, but path B required less heat. So if you can see, if you are changing the path, the heat is also changing, Q is also changing. Okay, is it okay? Fine. So again that means heat is nothing but your path function. So work is also path function and heat is also path function, which depends upon which path you are choosing from going from one state to another state. Is it fine? But if you check the temperature, whether you choose this path or whether you choose this path, initial temperature is a particular and final temperature is particular. So delta T will be same for both too. If I measure the delta T here and measure the delta T here, both will remain same or not? Of course.